Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is August 2024. Summer's fast coming to an end. We're getting into the prime model railroading season once we get fall and winter when we can't do things outside. I want to do a real quick review, probably not as in-depth as I usually do, especially on some of my locomotives. Athearn just released a couple Illinois Central products over the course of the last week or two. We'll do an unboxing and get a little bit closer look, but this is a maintenance of way crane and flat car set. You can see on the side of the box here. One of the reasons why I wanted to show this is the first model I got. I know Athearn changed their packaging within the last year or so. This is the first rolling stock that I've purchased since they went to their new packaging and new branding. So this would replace what used to be the ready to roll line. And then also, in addition to the crane and tender, Athearn also released some 50-foot Pacific Car Foundry box cars, and I'll go ahead and go take a look at these. Again, new packaging on these. Now the Genesis boxes come with this flap, and there were 3 road numbers in this particular one, so this is the new Illinois Central after they rebranded and dropped the Gulf in the 1990s. So let's go ahead and do a quick closer look at these models. So just go ahead and start unboxing this. When I show stuff when just flying all over the place. Again, I'd say more than typical Athearn packaging. Has a nice solid blister outer package, and certainly the plastic cradle that the model is in. Go ahead and pull the crane out. See that. We'll go ahead and pull the tender out. Take a look at that. So then there's also what appears to be a hand crank. So I'll have to look at the instructions to see what we're to do with this, but this is the packaging for the crane and tender set. Okay, so we'll go into a little bit more depth on the crane here in just a second. So this is the old packaging. This is, again, exact same model, 50-foot Pacific Car Foundry boxcar, exterior post with 10-foot 6-inch door. I don't remember exactly when this was released, probably it's in the last 4 to 5 years. So this is an older version that I've got with the older style Genesis packaging. Again, here's the new style Genesis packaging. They do have what appears to be, I haven't opened this up yet, it looks like a foam pad or something to possibly protect the car a little bit more while it's in the packaging. Let's see what's going on here when we pull this off. So again, this is a Genesis model. Oh, that's why they have tape on the end here. Hang on just a second, let me get a knife. Sorry, I'm back. I didn't want to fight that tape. So this will pull off. Yeah, these are just some foam pads that are inside the outer blister. And then here is the model. There is a package. These are extra roller bearing caps, and I'll do a little bit closer look when we get more into the details of the model. But these do have the Athearn Genesis. I've had animated roller bearing caps for several years now. So that is the unboxing of this particular boxcar and the new Genesis packaging. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at both of these models. So let's take a little bit closer look at the crane here. I'm going to go ahead and put a few prototype photos that I was able to find online on the screen here. So this is, again, an Athearn, which basically, on the old Athearn, this would have been part of their ready-to-roll line. When you compare this to the prototype, you can see that there's quite a few details that are not consistent with this particular crane versus the prototype photo. You can just tell the windows and the doors on this side of it are not the same as what you're going to see with the the prototype. Again, looking at it from the front, you don't really see a lot of windows on the front here like you do on the prototype. I could not find a picture of what would be the engineer side of the crane online. A little bit about the prototype itself. Originally these were steam cranes or steam powered cranes. Some point in the 1970s these were converted over to diesel, so it would have been not uncommon for these to have a tender behind them, a water tender for the steam. Again, here's just a look at the back of this. These are all molded plastic, but there's no add-on grab irons. There's nothing additional on here. It's basically just a plastic Athearn model. So here's the tender of the flat car. Again, there's really not a lot of extra detail on this. Looks like, honestly, it almost looks like one of their ready-to-roll flat cars with a few add-on pieces. There's no separately applied items to this. There's no air hoses or anything underneath. They do have some of the brake cylinders, but none of the air hoses. So, I guess from the standpoint of extra details, this is a little bit disappointing, especially for the price you pay for it. But in the same regard, there's not very many maintenance of way rolling stock out there. One of the things that you take advantage of what you can get. So does this look nice? Absolutely. It's a nice crane and tender set, but it doesn't have a whole lot of extra detail like you'd come to expect with some higher end models. Last thing I will want to say, though, I will do a test run here at the end of the video. One of the things I was able to find online is, because these cranes were so heavy, there was typically 4 to 5 buffer cars in between the crane and the locomotive because of the weight of the crane. So when I do my test demonstration, I will not put the extra cars in between. I'm just going to run it. But prototypically, if you were going to run this in an operating session, you would want to have at least 4 to 5 buffer cars, some flats, some hoppers, whatever you want, in between the crane and the locomotive. So here's just a quick look at the Genesis boxcar, and this has been released by Athearn at least one prior time, maybe even a couple times before that. I know I have this 1990 version of the Illinois Central when they repainted everything, dropped the Gulf, and went to their Death Star look. There are a few of these that were repaints of Missouri Pacific. Basically, these are insulated boxcars, and they have exterior posts to keep the interior of the boxcars to allow for the insulation. Most of this was for transporting goods, particularly items that did not need refrigeration, but they did need some insulation, some protection from the elements, so things like candies, chocolates, things like that. This is a Genesis, so there are, unlike the crane and tender, there are significant separately applied items on this. All the grabs, brake lines, air hoses, ladders, etc. are separately applied. Let me get a little bit closer look here. Here's a little bit closer look. These did have what are considered to be smooth tops. Here's the 10-foot 6-inch door, which is prototypical, correct, for the Illinois Central when they purchased these. But you can see the ladders only go about halfway up, so these are not roof accessible or roof walkway. I'll show you the ends here. Here's just a good look at the end. You can see it has sort of the trumpet cutler cup lever right there. Has the brake platform with the brake wheel. The ladders only go high enough to get to the brake platform, so for safety purposes, these do have a long drawbar for the coupler, so it's another part of the reason why there's not a roof walkway, is because the drawbars are long on these, and there's going to be too much distance in between cars for a safe transfer from one car to another. Here's a look underneath. Again, you can see all the brake cylinders, the hosing, the piping. So a lot of detail, like what you would come to expect from a Genesis production. Zoom out here just a little bit. I'm sure it won't show on the video, but I did mention it. There are animated roller bearing caps on these trucks, so I'll do a test run on this car as well, or I'll probably bring all three of them out to do the test run, so I'll try to get a good shot of the animated roller bearings.